Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
A woman is begging for help after she says her home was shot at nearly 10 times.
She's from Erskine, Minnesota, and called our whistleblower hotline looking for answers. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard tells us when it started and what authorities are doing.
I am begging for somebody to listen, for somebody to do something, because I don't feel like there's much being done about it.
Nina Dagry was sitting right here on her couch when she says she heard a loud clank on her living room window.
I ducked out of the chair right onto the floor.
But it was more than just a clank. She found bullet hole markings across the window. Nina said the shots came from behind me right in this area just before they lodged right up there into her window.
I actually ended up having to leave and go up into a friend's house because I was scared.
The first time it happened was December 2nd of 2018. Then she tells us it happened again, and again, and again. 9 times in total.
Nobody should have to feel the need to crawl around on the floor in their own home because they don't feel safe.
So she reached out to police for help.
I was basically told that he would be back when I had a chance to calm down.
But Nina is still getting bullets sent in through her window. She says the last time it happened was just this past Saturday. After calling 911 the first time, she says officers responded and took pictures. The second time, they patrolled the complex for only a couple days. And the last time, they took Nina to her mother's home. She claims she hasn't heard from them since.
She's a human being. We're humans. We're people. We all bleed red when it comes down to it.
And now she doesn't know what to do. She tells us she's packing up boxes now to move out. In the meantime, she's staying with her mom at night. Reporting in Erskine, Minnesota, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
We have called the Polk County Sheriff's Department multiple times the past couple of days to ask about these incidents. We have not heard back yet. If you need help uncovering an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. 237-6576. You can leave your tip and then a member of our team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
Here's something you hope never happens. A Minnesota woman cleaning out her minivan after a door was left wide open during a snowstorm. Photos of the snow-filled van were posted on Facebook. About 10 inches of snow fell during the storm. The woman from Claremont, Minnesota, had asked her fiancé to shut the door and assumed he did. He thought she had shut it. At first, he was a little upset, but now they're both laughing about it because they only have themselves to blame. Keeping one's humor is important this time of year, especially when it comes to the weather. Robert, the overnight temps, nothing to laugh about.
No, once again, some very cold temperatures out there. The one piece of good news, though, or actually two, winds will stay on the light side. The other one is with clouds rolling on in. We'll see temperatures steady to slowly rising as we head towards tomorrow morning. But right now, it is another very cold night. 19 below in Grand Forks, 18 below in Langdon and Thief River Falls, minus 12 here in Fargo. As mentioned, those winds light, but just a whisper of wind creates some very cold wind chills with these kind of temperatures. Minus 42 your wind chill right now up in Langdon, 35 below in Thief River Falls, minus 34 Grand Forks, 26 below here in Fargo. Here come the clouds, and again, with those clouds, we'll see those temperatures steady to slowly rising, and also with those clouds, some snow. Best chance for snow as we head through the next 24 hours will be across southern portions of the valley. But everybody is going to see the cold. Wind chill advisory in effect till tomorrow morning for those wind chills as cold as 25 to 40 degrees below zero. Snow chances roll on through as we head through the day on Tuesday. Who has the best chance and how much? We'll show that to you here in just a few minutes.
Persevere, that's the word.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yep.
A 43-year-old Valley City man is facing 2 felony counts for sex acts with a minor. According to court documents, Christopher Lindgren was charged with 2 counts of corruption of a minor. The documents state he engaged in sex acts with a 17-year-old on 2 occasions, one in January, the other in February. Lindgren made his first court appearance last Wednesday.
2 men are headed for federal prison for their roles in the murder of a woman in 2016. 21-year-old Dalen Takendrick was sentenced to 27.5 years for charges that include felony murder. 24-year-old Dakota James Charbonneau will serve 50 years for charges including second-degree murder. The two were tied to the August 24, 2016 death of Carly Yellowbird. Dalen St. Pierre previously pleaded guilty to felony murder and was sentenced in this case.
Charges have been filed against the man involved in an officer-involved shooting off of U.S. Highway 2 near Arvilla, North Dakota. 34-year-old Travis Holtz of Grand Forks is accused of terrorizing with a dangerous weapon, unlawful possession of a firearm, and violating a disorderly conduct restraining order. iNews is reporting some of these charges stem from an incident that happened prior to the shots being fired. On February 17th, deputies were contacted by someone who reported that Holtz had broken down on the side of the road. Investigators say Holtz pointed a firearm at the deputies. A shot was fired and Holtz was injured.
There will be no school or activities tomorrow at the elementary school in Bagley, Minnesota. According to the school's Facebook page, the reason is a structural issue at the elementary school. Keep this in mind. All classes and activities at the high school will go on as scheduled tomorrow. Buses for the high school will also run on schedule tomorrow.
A local police officer tonight stands charged with suspicion of DUI after authorities say he drove recklessly. Investigators say it happened around 9 Sunday night when West Fargo Patrol Sergeant Ryan Dennis got his car stuck in a snowbank. It happened in the area of 19th Avenue East and Beaton Drive. Dennis was arrested for suspicion of driving under the influence. He has been reassigned to desk duty while the investigation continues.
A Wisconsin woman accused of attempting to shoot a Minnesota State Patrol trooper last March was sentenced to 19 years in prison today. 31-year-old Melody Gray of Milwaukee, Wisconsin was sentenced in Clay County District Court for 2 felonies: first-degree attempted murder of a peace officer and possession of a firearm by a felon. It was March of 2018. Gray and a companion were in a car that slid into a median on I-94 near Moorhead. Upon arrival to help, a state patrol trooper learned the car was reported stolen in Wisconsin. And while attempting to arrest the passenger, Gray pointed a handgun to the trooper's head and tried to fire. The gun failed, and while Gray tried to manipulate the firearm, the trooper fired his gun at Gray, hitting her in the arm.
Hundreds of people opposed to requirements for childhood vaccines rallied at the Minnesota State Capitol today. They were there to voice their opposition to a measure that would make it harder for parents not to vaccinate their kids. A proposed Minnesota Senate bill would remove language in state law that allows parents to conscientiously object to the shots.
We believe that parents should be able to make their own choice. They should be having this conversation with their doctor.
Those at the rally dispute the position by the medical and scientific community that vaccines are safe. They also argue against the idea that vaccines protect not only individuals but society as a whole from potentially life-threatening diseases. And to curb anti-vaccination posts from spreading on their platform, Pinterest banned search terms related to vaccines. The social media company says most shared images on Pinterest relating to vaccination cautioned against it, which goes against established medical guidelines and research showing that vaccines are safe. Pinterest says it's also blocking searches for unproven cancer therapies, citing a similar spread of misinformation.
A Minnesota House committee approved $15 million in emergency funding for the state's troubled vehicle registration and licensing system. The funding for the MNLARS program is in addition to the $84 million that Governor Tim Walz asked for in his 2-year budget, which would include money for staffing and other services. The troubled system has already cost taxpayers more than $100 million. The total cost through 2021 could top $209 million. The stopgap funding is expected to pass the full House.
Later